So, you guys like tornado stories. That is a proven fact. Every single time that I have asked what kind of videos you guys want to see, the most voted for topic is always tornado stories. Lucky for you guys, I live in Alabama, arguably the most tornado-infested state in the United States of America. Also, I happen to be the biggest 17-year-old weather geek you know, so I am more than happy to share some more tornado stories with you guys. Alright, let's get this sucker started. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen this video that kind of blew up.
This sings a love song as we go along.
Yep, that's... So, it was a day in July of 2019. Overall, an awful month. This day in particular happens to be one of the awful days. I was completely bored out of my mind, and I had heard some thunder in the distance. Oh yes, weather. My constant getaway from it all. I decided to go do something that is completely idiotic and I completely do not recommend to anyone. I decided to go storm chasing. I hit the road and I was vibing, listening to the music, hearing the rain hit my windshield. It was chill, until... Hey, look, a wall cloud. Wait, wall cloud. Yeah, it's been a while. What up? Wall cloud equals, Oh! Nader! I watch that thing and keep driving towards it until I become a little uncomfortable, so I turn around and start heading back home. I start listening to Christmas music because it automatically makes me feel happy, and I was just living the best life. 10 or so minutes go by, and I forget about it. Until... I got home as quick as possible, and everything seemed to be fine. That was just a very scary experience. This one also happened to be not that long ago. This was December 16th, 2019. There was a lower end tornado outbreak that day that mostly hit Mississippi, but Alabama got a heck of a lot of damage as well. I've been watching this day and getting ready for it for about 5 days in advance, so I knew what was up. I was watching these storms come in from miles and miles and miles away. I had just eaten with Jake at the best restaurant in the entire universe, Bo Bangles, and I had just gotten something at another store. I looked at the radar, and there were some warnings. It was pretty far out though, so I didn't think there would be a warning for us anytime soon. Here we go. So, I'm trying to get out of this parking lot. The sirens are raging loudly. I feel like I'm gonna pass out at like any second. My heart is beating out of my chest. I was stopped at the exit of the parking lot and no one would let me out. For all I knew, there was a tornado raging towards all of us and none of these people would let me out. Guys, I'm gonna die! Finally, someone lets me out and I go down the highway. Traffic is horrible. I'm checking the radar at stops and listening to the radio when I hear, so there's a confirmed significant tornado on the ground heading right towards... I got home, turned on the TV, and saw just how awful the situation was. This sucker was coming like right towards me. I look at Snapchat and see all these stories where people are like, Naders ain't nothing, man. Man, this Nader need to chill out. You're all going to die! My dad got home, he was completely freaking out, and eventually all 4 of my family members were in the storm shelter. So, it turns out the tornado was going through cycles, and it lifted off the ground before it got to our house. However, it was on the ground, and it did end up being a high-end EF2. So, yeah, I had a reason to be stressed out. Okay, now we're gonna go from the end of the decade to the beginning of the decade. 2011. I had really just began being a weather geek. This was only 3 months removed from the monster tornado outbreak of April 27th, 2011, and I was just beginning to learn the basics of weather. All I really knew how to use was the Weather Channel app radar and my playroom window. That was about it. One summer night, that playroom window was showing a heck of a lot of lightning. So I pulled out my cheap radar and sure enough, there was a severe storm coming right towards us. From the north, which doesn't usually happen. So I go downstairs and I'm like, hey dad, you need to stop playing Xbox because the power is going to go off soon. He was like, what? Yeah, there's a big storm and it's going to knock our power out. Where is it? That way? Storms can't come from the north. I lied in bed angry. I knew what was coming. He underestimated my prediction of the precise location of the severe thunderstorm. I couldn't believe he had the nerve to... So yeah, there's some tornado stories. I hope you enjoyed it because there will probably be so much more in the future. I do live in Alabama after all, and in Alabama, they never stop coming.